Have you ever felt it? That inexplicable moment when you meet someone for the first time, but you have the overwhelming feeling that you have already known them your entire life, as if you were just continuing an old conversation. Or when you stumble upon an opportunity, a book, a place that seems to have been tailor-made for your soul, as if it had been waiting for you all along. This feeling of déjà vu, of destiny, of an encounter that cannot be a mere coincidence. Prepare yourself. In the next 48 hours, the universe is sending an unmistakable sign that you are in the right place at the right time for a fated encounter with your destiny. This Saturday, August 16th, one of the sweetest, most fluid, and most significant alignments from the soul's point of view occurs. Venus, the planet that governs our heart, our values, and the way we connect, forms a trine, an aspect of perfect flow, with the North Node, the mathematical point in the sky that represents the path of our destiny, the direction of our evolution. Think of it this way: the current of your heart, your desires, affections, and what you value, represented by Venus in the emotional sign of Cancer, perfectly aligns with the great current of your destiny, your higher purpose, and your spiritual path, represented by the North Node in the compassionate sign of Pisces. When these two currents of water meet in perfect harmony, the result is a powerful and effortless flow that gently pushes you exactly where you need to be. This alignment opens doors, but they are not loud and obvious doors. They are silent, emotional doors that can only be perceived by intuition. They are the people who appear and seem to bring a sense of home. They are the opportunities that resonate on a deep level. They are the synchronicities that seem to whisper in your ear, confirming that you are on the right path. Most people, distracted by the noise of the world, might let this benevolent current pass by without noticing, but not you. In the next few minutes, you will learn to recognize the subtle signs the universe is sending. We will decode the feelings that confirm your alignment. And most importantly, we will explore the 3 ways to say yes to these fated encounters, so that you do not miss this window of karmic alignment and can surf this wave of destiny toward your next and most authentic chapter. When the universe decides to send us a clear signal, it does not speak through logic, but through the language of the soul. Feelings, synchronicities, and a resonance that goes beyond any explanation. In the next 48 hours, as the current of destiny aligns in your favor, your task is not to think, but to feel. Here are the unmistakable signs that the hand of fate is touching your life. The first sign, the most powerful and unmistakable of this transit, is what we can call soul recognition. Forget superficial physical attraction or intellectual compatibility. We are talking about something much deeper, almost ancestral. It is the experience of meeting a person, be it a new love interest, a new friend, a colleague, or even a mentor, and feeling in your core, on a level that completely defies logic, that you already know each other. It is not a thought. It is a visceral feeling, a feeling of instant familiarity, of absolute comfort, as if your souls were simply resuming an old conversation that was paused long ago. Communication with this person flows without any effort. You might finish each other's sentences. There is an absence of games, of masks, of that anxiety of needing to impress. It is a connection that feels safe and nurturing from the very first moment. This is your heart, under the influence of Venus in Cancer, recognizing a soul that belongs to your spiritual family, a predestined ally on your journey. North Node in Pisces. If you meet someone in the next 48 hours and feel this inexplicable resonance, do not dismiss it as a romantic fantasy. Pay very, very close attention. It is a direct sign. The second sign expands this experience beyond people. It is a deep feeling of coming home in situations or places. You might visit a neighborhood, a city, or even a country for the first time and be flooded with a sense of belonging, as if you had already lived there. You might stumble upon a work opportunity, a course, or a creative project that feels so perfectly aligned with who you are that it seems to have been tailor-made for your soul. It is the feeling that the pieces of your life's puzzle, which once seemed scattered and disconnected, suddenly begin to fit together effortlessly, forming a clear picture. This is the energy of Venus in Cancer, the archetype of home and emotional security, in harmony with the node in Pisces, the return to the source, the spiritual union. The universe is showing you, through your feelings of comfort and belonging, the places and opportunities where your soul can truly flourish. The third sign is the type of opportunity that arises. As this trine occurs in water signs, the doors that are opening now are not necessarily for conventional material success or for fame. The opportunities that destiny presents to you at this moment tend to be linked to the themes of Cancer and Pisces: healing, care, compassion, and creativity. It could be an invitation to begin a process of therapy or emotional healing. It could be the chance to care for a family member, a pet, or a project that needs your nurturing. It could be an invitation to a spiritual retreat, the beginning of a deeply inspired artistic project, or the opportunity to get involved in volunteer work. The logical mind, focused on productivity, might dismiss these opportunities as unprofitable or a detour, but your soul will recognize them as profoundly nourishing. The hand of fate is pointing you in the direction of what feeds your soul, not just your bank account. Finally, the fourth sign, the most subtle of all, is internal, a sudden and intense aversion to all that is superficial. Futile conversations, connections based on self-interest, loud and empty social events, all of this can suddenly seem unbearable. You will feel a deep desire for silence, for meaningful conversations, for authentic and vulnerable connections. Do not interpret this as you becoming antisocial or depressed. It is your energetic system, now tuned to the deep and emotional frequency of Cancer and Pisces, that can no longer tolerate the noise of superficiality. It is your soul telling you that it is ready for a new level of depth in all areas of your life. And this desire is the compass that will guide you to the right people and opportunities. If you recognize the signs from the previous chapter, the soul recognition, the feeling of coming home, the desire for depth, the question your logical mind might be asking is why? Why is this happening now with this intensity? The answer does not lie in the logic of the visible world, but in the invisible architecture of the sky, in the sacred alchemy that is happening between the water signs of Cancer and Pisces. Let us now, in our revealing tone, decode this cosmic conspiracy that is acting in your favor. First, we need to understand the position and the desire of our collective heart. At this very moment, Venus, the planet of love, of our deepest values, of what gives us pleasure, and of how we connect, is transiting through the sign of Cancer. Cancer is the archetype of the Great Mother, of home, of family, of ancestry, and above all, of emotional security. This means that, in this period, our collective desire moves away from what is superficial, exciting, or purely physical. Our heart no longer wants fleeting adventures. It yearns for nourishment. It tirelessly seeks connections that feel like family, even with people we have just met. It values security, loyalty, vulnerability, and mutual care above all else. It is a deep desire for roots, for a safe place to let our guard down and be accepted in our totality. If you have felt a greater need to stay home, to connect with your family members, to cleanse old wounds from the past, or to seek relationships that offer a deep sense of security and belonging, you are perfectly in tune with this energy. It is your heart, declaring its most primordial and true needs. Now let's look at the direction in which our soul as a whole is being called to evolve. The North Node, known in karmic astrology as the point of destiny, is currently in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, the vast and unfathomable ocean of the collective consciousness. It is the realm of faith, of compassion, of art, of spirituality, and of the dissolution of the ego. The evolutionary path of humanity at this moment, represented by the North Node in Pisces, is not about more material achievements, more individualism, more competition, or more control. It is the exact opposite. It is a collective call to learn to surrender, to have faith in the unseen, to recognize that we are all interconnected on a deep level. It is a call to be more compassionate, more artistic, more intuitive, and more spiritual. Our destiny now is to dissolve the barriers of ego and separation that distance us from each other and from the divine source. And now, the alchemy, the magical moment. What happens when the deepest desire of our heart, Venus in Cancer, which is to find security, nourishment, and a soul connection, meets the call of our destiny, North Node in Pisces, which is to find faith, compassion, and spiritual union. And these two forces unite in a trine, an aspect of perfect harmony and divine flow. A miracle happens. A cosmic shortcut happens. The current of your personal desire and the current of your greater destiny become one. That is why the signs are so clear. That is why the encounters feel so fated. The people, opportunities, and situations that are emerging now are not just pleasant or interesting. They are literally answers from the universe, designed to satisfy the deepest need of your heart and, at the same time, exponentially accelerate your spiritual and evolutionary journey. This is a window of divine flow. Doors that would normally be closed now open with a light touch. Connections that would take months or years to deepen can now reach a level of soul intimacy in a matter of hours. The truth is that the universe is conspiring in your favor in a way rarely seen. To ignore the signs your intuition is sending you now to say no to one of these connections or opportunities out of fear, skepticism, or being too busy is, in essence, to say no to your own destiny. It is to deliberately choose to row against a strong and benevolent current that was designed to take you home. The choice to say yes now, to surrender to this flow, can take you to an emotional and spiritual destination that, in normal times, would take years of conscious effort to reach. The current of destiny is flowing in your favor. The soul's doors are open, but the universe, in its infinite wisdom, never forces us to walk through them. The choice to say yes, to surrender to the flow, is always ours. What follows is not a set of rules, but 3 ways to practice the soul's yes. 3 ways to align your actions with the benevolent flow that is available to you now. They are invitations for you to stop being a spectator of your destiny and to become a conscious co-creator of your own journey. The first practice, active intuition. Our logical and skeptical mind, trained to distrust what cannot be proven, is often the biggest obstacle on the path of our destiny. It doubts synchronicity, rationalizes magic, and convinces us to ignore the whispers of our soul, labeling them as imagination or coincidence. The first practice, therefore, is to temporarily demote the logical mind from its command position and to promote your intuition to the role of CEO of your life for these 48 hours. The practice of active intuition means treating every emotional and visceral signal not as background noise, but as a piece of extremely important data, a direct message from your wisest self. Commit yourself for the next 48 hours to keeping a journal of signs. Keep a notepad or your phone's notes app nearby, and then start recording. Write down the shiver you felt when listening to a specific song on the radio. Write down the feeling of deep peace that arose in your chest when thinking of a certain city or a certain project. Write down the feeling of clicking, of immediate recognition when talking to a new person. And equally important, write down the inexplicable repulsion to a proposal that on paper seemed perfect, but that made your stomach contract. Write down the vivid dream you had that seemed to carry a message. Your task is not to interpret or analyze everything immediately. Your task at first is simply to honor the information your soul is sending you through your body. Tell yourself, my body is giving me valuable information here. My feeling is a piece of data. The guidance for this weekend is simple and powerful. Move toward what brings you a sense of peace, expansion, and recognition, and gently move away from what brings you a sense of contraction, heaviness, and strangeness, even if your logical mind doesn't understand why. Trust your heart's compass. The second practice, the act of conscious vulnerability, the energy of Venus in Cancer, which is at the heart of this transit, teaches us a fundamental lesson about soul connections. They are not built on facades of perfection or on demonstrations of strength. They are built on bridges of vulnerability. The door to a true, fated encounter rarely opens with a golden key, but rather with the courage to show our heart. The second practice is an act of conscious vulnerability. Choose a person in your life with whom you have felt a special resonance. It could be someone new who has appeared in this time window, or an old relationship you wish to deepen and align with your soul's path. Your task is to share with this person a true feeling, an intimate memory, or a vulnerability. It is crucial to understand the intention here. It is not about venting, complaining, or emotionally manipulating the other person to receive something in return. It is about offering an authentic part of your inner world as a gift, without expectations. It can be as simple as saying, I felt a very special and genuine connection when we talked yesterday, and I felt I needed to tell you that. Or it could be sharing a memory from your childhood that shaped you and explains a part of who you are. Or it could be admitting a fear or a dream you rarely share. This act is the key that opens the heart of Cancer. It creates a sacred space of safety and trust that in turn allows the other person to lower their own defenses and also show their heart. It is in this authentic and vulnerable exchange that the true nature of the connection is revealed. You may discover an ally for your journey in a way you would never discover in 1,000 superficial conversations. The third practice, the choice of higher purpose. Finally, destiny is not just about feeling good and safe, it is about growing, evolving, and fulfilling a purpose. This benevolent trine offers us opportunities that satisfy both our heart, Venus, and our soul. North Node, the third practice, is a decision filter to ensure you choose the highest opportunities, those that nourish your totality. When evaluating any opportunity that arises now, be it relational, financial, creative, or a life change, pass it through this filter of two essential questions. The first question is that of Venus in Cancer. Does this nourish my heart? Does this bring me a sense of security, of comfort, and of emotional well-being? The answer needs to be a yes, felt in the body. The second question is that of the North Node in Pisces. Does this align me with a greater sense of purpose, of compassion, or of service? Does this help me to dissolve my ego and to connect with something greater than myself? The opportunity of destiny, the true fated encounter of this transit, will be the one that receives a resounding yes to both questions. If an opportunity offers only pleasure and security, but has no greater purpose, it is just Venus. If it offers only a purpose of sacrifice that drains your heart, it is a misinterpreted node. The magic and the blessing of this trine lie in finding the opportunities that unite beautifully and fluidly. Pleasure with purpose. Use this filter to say yes only to the choices most aligned with the totality of your being. And so, by practicing intuition, vulnerability, and purposeful choice, you stop fighting against the current. You become the current itself. The feeling that life is a constant battle, that you need to force doors open and fight for your place, begins to dissolve. In its place, a new and profound sense of flow arises, of trustful surrender, of being guided by a greater wisdom. You realize that the most important encounters are not the ones you frantically pursue, but the ones you open yourself up to and allow to arrive. Destiny, you discover, is not a fortress to be conquered with effort and exhaustion, but a powerful and benevolent river that will take you home if you simply have the courage to let go of the banks and trust its flow. This alignment you feel now, this peace, is not a promise that there will be no more challenges or pains on your journey. It is the promise that the challenges that arise will be the right ones, those that were specifically designed for the growth and evolution of your soul. It is not the promise that all your egoic wants will be met, but the guarantee that your deepest needs, the needs of your soul for connection, purpose, and love, will always be supplied. To live in the flow of your destiny is, in essence, to trade the chronic anxiety of control for the deep peace of trust. It is to develop an unshakable faith that the right people will appear at the exact right moment, that the right opportunities will present themselves when you are truly ready for them. And, perhaps most liberating of all, it is to understand that the doors that close are not a rejection from the universe, but a divine redirection, a loving protection that prevents you from going down paths that are not truly yours. This is the peace that is born from knowing on a cellular level that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, even if the future is still a beautiful and sacred mystery. This window of intense and aligned flow will pass, but your ability to connect with the current of your soul is a choice you can make every day. From now on, the practices you have learned are yours forever. If this message about fated encounters and the path of destiny has resonated with you, if you are ready to stop forcing and start flowing, anchor this decision. Like this video, share it with another soul you feel is part of your journey, and declare your choice, your surrender, your courage in the comments. I say yes to my destiny. And don't forget to subscribe so we can continue to learn together, to read the maps of the soul, and to navigate its sacred currents.